Hello there, welcome back to a forecast discussion today, and we have still a severe weather event seems to be um, still likely from Tuesday to Thursday. I think there's quite a lot of uncertainty. I don't think this will be really as significant as what was really what I thought yesterday, but I'll get to why I think that now. But um, we have a slight risk stretching all the way from central Texas going into Nebraska and also Iowa, and also stretching further south into Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, and then Oklahoma. 5% tornado, 15% wind, 15% hail. Day 3, we do have a big enhanced risk across much of northeast Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, much of Mississippi, going to Alabama. 30% significant probabilities. I think it's gonna be mostly a wind event, but maybe a few tornadoes as well. But I don't know. But anyways, apart from let's go on to day 4. We have 15% from North Carolina, eastern North Carolina, going to Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, going to southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at a few soundings from 0Z, see what's been going on with moisture return. We didn't check on that yesterday, so we have to catch up really to speed. So we'll take a look at 0Z yesterday, or technically today, but a ton of dry air aloft. Time of a moist layer going up to around 925 millibars, or maybe even less than that, but enough to maybe get some elevated instability, but no really storms from that. And same story with that, with Lake Charles, and same story as well with. It seems like this is pretty much mixed out though. Let's take a look at 0Z from today, and we have a time with some dry air aloft, but pretty. And then with this, basically same story. Time of a moist layer going up to 850 millibars. Same thing with New Orleans, and take a look at some of the surface stations. And right now, it seems like 50s are creeping much further into Texas, going to even Oklahoma now. With 60s still near the coast, with 70s just off the coast of into the Gulf of Mexico. Today we'll be really comparing between the GFS, the RAP, the HER, and as well into the NAM. Those are really the 3 models we're going to be taking a look at. But we'll have to see. So let's take a look at 500 millibars real quick. And right now we have a closed trough ejecting into California today. It's been sparking some definitely some beneficial rain across the west. That's why we have a general thunder risk today, but time with some localized flash flooding is possible, as we did see a flash flood warning earlier, since expired, but this trough is expected to continue to eject into the 4 corners later into tomorrow, and that's where we'll set up for the first day, and it'll shear out, eject off to the north and east, and let's take a look at the NAM first. And take a look at the NAM. 0Z NAM is actually running right now, so we'll have to stick with the 18Z NAM for now. But right now, take a look at initializing around. Let's take a look at 0Z Eastern Trough, and that trough is going to be ejecting away, and then we have a trough right now ridging over the Plain States. with a trough ejecting into the western states right now, into the four corners tomorrow. And unsurprisingly, we see a really positively tilted trough. Don't anticipate much with tomorrow due to really moisture issues with as well pretty much a late time initiation, and I don't really think the late time initiation. I think it's more of a lack of moisture. But anyways, this is gonna shear out, and then you can see that trough shortwave begin to really fade, and yeah. I think another issue with thermos and really moisture as well. This is definitely not looking to be. We'll take a look at some soundings in a minute, but we'll take a look at 12Z soundings across Oklahoma. We'll take another one. Take a few, and we can see quite a sizable cap inversion. I think this is going to be. This is definitely going to limit activity throughout the day. And that's definitely an issue. But that's why we'll probably be seeing some late time initiation. We'll go to 18Z. We'll take a few more soundings and see how that evolved. This is in Texas. Actually, no, this might be in Oklahoma. No, it's in Oklahoma. So a pretty sizable cap right there. Maybe some elevated instability with it, but still quite a strong cap inversion. Yet to erode, I think. And take a look. This is for southern. Pretty big inversion as well, going up to around 600 millibars. Let's take another sounding around 0Z. We'll take a look at how these look. We'll take one even further north. So I think this is in northern Oklahoma. Time of still some more still inversion is still noted on all these soundings. A lot less, but I think moisture is definitely not looking too good. We see 72 over 60. This is down. This is in Kansas. I think that might be able to get the job done, but for at least this here with a threat. But this is near the dry line. 76 over 58. Quite a dew point spread, which promotes more of a high base storm mode elevated, and 70 over 61. Don't think there'll be any storms in Texas. I don't even think there'll be any storms until around 60. We'll take a few soundings again. This one's in Kansas. Tiny bit of a kink in that photograph. Tiny bit, still a sizable cap. Elevated stability. It's probably be more of an elevated storm mode for the north. Then here, I think it's in Oklahoma. Tiny bit of some lackluster in mid-level shear. You can definitely see that on the photograph. And that cap is nearly gone. And then even further south into Texas, basically the same story, tiny bit less shear. But I think it's quite a concern though. Then probably overnight we'll be seeing evolve into a QLCS, and we'll take a look at some morning soundings from what will be the main risk area on Wednesday, and this one is in Mississippi type 66 over 61, but That's quite an issue though. We're only seeing moisture layer extending up into 925 millibars. Easily could just be mixed out. And time of inversion right there. I think it'll be easily overcome then. And take a look at this is in northern Louisiana. Basically the same story, but so that's quite an issue. I think really the main concern is going to be for mixing, for those dew points to get mixed out. It's going to be definitely in Mississippi. And we can even take a few soundings into the Gulf, actually, near the Gulf Coast. And will we be seeing deep moisture advection? So this one is a bit farther, bit deep into, definitely see some strong warmer advection, but not really good moist layer, extending up until about 925 millibars. And then the moist layer, take a look. This is off the coast of Alabama, off the coast of Mobile. Not really skinny, really small moist layer, and I think even when you see a low level jet cranking around 50 to 45 to nearly 50 knots out of the south, vecting northward, I think we'll be, the low level jet's gonna be more vecting dry air than anything. And you can definitely see it with these soundings. We can even take it to 18Z, and I bet it'll be it'll be showing a similar story. But you can already see, I think the NAM is not really showing much mixing. Basically, really, but then I think it has quite a cold bias as well. I think temperatures going only into near 80. We'll take a sounding there. But see 76 over 63. So I think there's quite an issue is going to be with really mixture. So anyways, let's take a look at 21Z REP. And take a look at that. Extended actually. Nikonus through tomorrow, ejecting into a positively tilted trough, ejecting into the four corners. Shears out, ejects to the north and east. By 0Z. We've seen some quite strong flow, around 70, 80, 90 knots, maybe up to 100 to 110 knots. But anyways, that little jet's gonna be blossoming well overnight. You can definitely see a 50, 60, 70 knot level jet. Take a look at 12Z soundings for Wednesday. Take one. We'll take a few of these. So this one is in northern Louisiana, northeastern. We see a tiny bit of a moist layer, tiny bit up to around a kilometer up. a lot better. And then this one is into, this is probably near the squall line, so makes sense on why showing a time of a pretty deep moist layer going up to around near 800, 7, maybe even 800, maybe 750 millibars. And this one is a bit further. This one is northern Mississippi. And that's where you see moist layer up to around a kilometer. And then moist layer, this is just along the coast around Louisiana, around moist layer time going up to around 850 millibars. So I think the extent of this is, I think there's a tiny bit more, moist layer is tiny bit extending more northward, and it's sounding around 18Z across, and take a look at that. And 80 over 61, quite a dew point spread. You can see probably by this time, dew point's been evenly distributed, so it's been. I think these dew points aren't really that good. This one's contaminated. This squall line will be probably actually near the Louisiana Mississippi border then. But this is quite dew point spreads are promoting not really favorable. And then looking at 0Z now, I just really have a hard time believing that there will be deep moisture evacuation. But we'll have to wait really to see how OBS really handles this. Let's lastly take a look at the HRRR, her, and let's take a look at 500 millibars real quick. So tropic is going to eject into the four corners and then shear out, and quite strong 500 millibars around 110, 100, maybe 115 knots. So pretty strong, strong 500 millibar winds stretching from Arkansas to Missouri, but strong flow aloft ahead of the squall line probably. Let's see how the moisture extends out north to the north. You can collect, and you see quite a big reservoir, but across much of the south it basically mixes out, and then you see that squall line, and then same really story. You can see those 60 degree dew points, they just get mixed out. And let's take a look at a sounding from let's take a look at some few soundings. So this is across northern central Mississippi around 12Z, and tiny bit of a deeper moist layer really. So we can see it's a pretty sizable cap, but moist layer extending up to around 1,000, near a kilometer up. Let's take one a bit further south, and that's where you see an issue. further south, it seems that the moist layers of time extending more further into the more further south. So that could be probably an issue. Anyways, and then let's take a look at some soundings around 15Z. This is in central Mississippi, and we're just not going to look at that. Let's take one for the south. Guess this won't work today. Okay, we're back. So, see, the dew point seems to be where I mixed out this time. 75 over 61. Seems like Capit continues to erode pretty mediocre mid-level lapse rates. Time to move to mid-level cloud cover as well. Let's take a look at near the squall line. See the environmental ahead of it. See if appears we have a moist clear going up to around 250 millibars. Not really good lapse rates at all. Pretty mediocre thermos. 800 joules per kilogram mid-clear cape. Strong kinematics though. You see a big, large looping photograph right there. Time we have a kink in that photograph. So I think that could be. I think there will be probably a damaging wind and a tornado threat. I think the tornado threat, maybe a few tornadoes are possible. I think the main threat is gonna be damaging winds due to strong winds aloft. You can see a 60 plus knot low-level jet out ahead of the squall line. Open warm sector development. I don't know. I don't really know if there will be open warm sector development. It's quite an uncertainty. And let's look by 21Z and pretty southerly flow. Backflow level jet. Quite a lot of viewing beyond that, and pretty big photograph, but not. You can definitely see in the not too much directional shear though in the lowest 6 kilometers. Really mediocre thermos, but due to steep low-level lapse rates, but I don't think it matter. That could be more promoting see those LCL heights around just over a kilometer up. So let's take a look at this squall line. It's probably moving into Alabama by 0Z, but we'll take a look at some big photographs. I think throughout the day, the squall line it's going to be of course going to be providing a damaging wind threat to maybe a few tornadoes, but I think given after 20Z, it's going to be running really out of moisture. So at least it'll be running to more limited moisture. And let's take a look at. Actually, no, we'll save that later. Let's take a look at the photograph map. I haven't been actually take a look at it yet. So let's sector this into southeast, and we'll take a look at it. And then we'll take a look at composite reflectivity after that. Let's take it to 12Z on, you can definitely see pretty large photographs out ahead, but pretty marginal thermos all around the board really. And then once you get greatest thermos, are gonna be along the coast really as expected. And by 18Z, we're seeing quite large photographs, but despite that, we're only seeing instability, surface-based instability around 700 joules per kilogram, or pretty minimal or marginal amounts. So, despite these large photographs, you have to at least recognize the damaging wind and tornado out there, but and head further into that, we do see some instability out ahead of the dry line, but don't think there'll be much there aloft. I think maybe nicely storms do convect, which I don't know if it does or not. We'll check soon. Then there might be. But anyways, large photographs with really meager instability, which hence is the reason why I think if there's prefrontal convection, I think there's gonna be a time of struggle really to get these updrafts going. And along the QLCS, there could be a few. They can get their act together. Maybe it could pose a tornado threat, but mostly a damaging wind threat, maybe a significant wind threat. So, anyways, taking a look at simulated reflectivity, I wouldn't be taking this as serious anyways, and I'd be paying more attention to. So on the Arkansas, you do see the shortly, probably after 21Z, you can see some convection, but not too much prefrontal, it seems. Nothing really that much hinting prefrontal convection. Big squall line with probably some embedded supercells within it. And yeah, ahead of maybe hinting at a few supercells out down south along the coast. If the southern periphery of the risk region, I think probably will have the greatest thermos, as well as still have a pretty good you still have some pretty large photographs, and also some slightly better thermals compared to further north. So I think anyways, really, let's take a look at the outlooks one more time. Tomorrow we have a slight risk stretching from Texas into Kansas and Missouri. 5% tornado, 15% wind, 15% hail. Across much of Mississippi and Alabama, as well as southeastern Arkansas, going to northeastern Louisiana. 30% significant probabilities. And then 15% stretch from east or North Carolina going into southern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania. If I was Storm Prediction Center, based on what I've seen, I think really the southern risk region, I think you could argue maybe a 10% non-hatched, maybe, just because of the large looping photographs, favorable, at least the most favorable thermos. Further north, it's going to be more of a 30% significant wind, I think. Just because strong winds just off the surface will definitely bring concern to more of a near widespread damaging wind event. But anyways, apart from that's really it, and